Welcome VL Review fans, and hopefully this will be the final video in my wife's 2024 blue CX-5 transmission debacle. It's been going on for 4 months, and a little while ago we got her vehicle back. We've driven it for a while and it's been fine. There hasn't been any issues, and hopefully it stays that way. So what I have right here is the final cut sheet going through transmission number 1 replacement. Remember, with the faulty module because it was wrong part / refurbished part, however you want to look at it. We'll find out here in a minute. And then it continues on to the second transmission and new TCM that hopefully will take care of the issue permanently, especially since this is a lease. At some point in time, this vehicle will go to somebody else and hopefully they won't have any issues. So let's see what we have here. A customer states that the vehicle transmission seems to be slipping between 2nd and 3rd gear. Yeah, after I showed him the video. Please check and advise. Happens on cold start. Cause, wrong part sent for the vehicle. So this is referring to transmission number 1, right? And faulty TCM module number 1. So you see they went ahead and they did all that work, and they had to go and order and install a gasket, exhaust manifold, gasket, another nut, gasket, pump outlet, well, all these other parts, coolant, diagnosis and performance test, blah, 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 blah. This thing doesn't run us any particular charge whatsoever. There's no charge because it's all fully under warranty. I mean, hey, it's a 24, right? So let's see, verified customer concern and completed diagnosis on 131-600, performed at electronic diagnosis. Okay, well, that's the way they word it. No DTCs were automatic transmission electronic diagnosis. Okay, it looked kind of weird. It's like performed at. No DTCs were present. Verified correct shift commands using MDARS PID data. Verified transmission fluid and condition. Contacted hotline and was advised the TCM initial learning had not completed. Gee, I wonder why. With hotline controlling MDARS IDS, the initial learn was attempted but would not complete. So they had people remotely, thousands of miles away, going and working on this, trying to do everything they could, and it still didn't work. So they realized there was a problem. Was advised that the TCM required replacement. TCM replacement was not available, so DAG advised to order a transmission assembly. Once DAG received the transmission order, the order was then changed to a different part number. Initial order was for a part number, but DAG changed to, I'm not sure exactly what DAG stands for. This other part number, F0Y3, blah, 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 and sent that part number for installation. Installed provided transmission, but found after replacement the TCM would not be configured to the vehicle due to wrong part number. See additional line for correct transmission installation. Then some more numbers in here. Multi-point inspection, full circle inspection, no charge, obviously. Incorrect part installed due to part supply issue. Replacement required. Yeah. How many of you have already told me in previous videos that you've had something like this happen, not necessarily Mazda? I think I had somebody talk about like Lexus, Toyota, somebody else was a Honda, and they get something and there's a part missing, there's a part that they need, unavailable for an unknown period of time. Not like a 30-day wait, an unknown period of time. That's kind of problematic, isn't it? So let's see here. Internal failure, transmission complete, remove and replace, and then you have all the kind of same parts as before. Automatic transmission gaskets, the manifold, the gasket there, the nut, pump gasket, outlet, blah, 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 coolant, ATF again. And then we come all the way down along to the bottom of page number 2. Replaced transmission assembly with correct part number, right? You have an old part number listed, and then here's a new part number. And notice they have different serial numbers. Instead of like a 3TR something or other, it's now 4TR, whatever it is. So they've made quite a few of these. in the time that this has been waiting for parts. Filled all fluids, performed TCM configuration and initial learning, drove vehicle several times after repair, verified correct operation. Gee, when you get the correct parts and they can be programmed properly and everything's talking, properly, stuff just kind of starts to work. But it was many, many months in order to do this. So, incidentally, I wrote down what the cost was that Mazda had to pay the dealer to do all this. So I don't know what like transmission number 1 cost per se. I'm assuming this is for just transmission number 2. Now, I don't know what they're doing with the parts, the older parts, beats me. But the entire cost for this, beginning to end, was billed for, not to us, to them, $6,781 and change. So getting close to $7,000 to rip out a transmission in the module, put a new one in, and get it programmed right. So whether or not the car was in an accident or this is a warranty replacement, somebody somewhere is going to pay a little less than $7,000 for a 2024 Mazda CX-5 6-speed transmission. So that kind of concludes, the big mess. But this is, again, a story that I wanted to go and drag everybody through. And the cool thing is during all of this, I had a chance to go and review a bunch of different vehicles, which is what I really wanted to do. So was I really inconvenienced? Not really. Was my wife inconvenienced or anything? Not really. We had a chance to drive different vehicles, and we like doing that. We change vehicles frequently. So had a CX-30 that I had a chance to review. We had another CX-5, and then we had a CX-50. And, we had a great time fiddling with all this stuff. The dealership was great. We don't blame the dealership. It's not a dealership problem. This is a manufacturer. This is an OEM issue. So here's my guess. And I think I'm probably more right than wrong on this, but you tell me in the comment section below. I think I'm going to be more than 50% right in making this claim, especially since COVID. Manufacturers, I believe, have realized if they make a whole bunch of parts, right, and they take, say, 99.9% of those parts, they build a complete item, the vehicle. They sell that item. They make a profit. Okay, makes sense. So in the old days, manufacturer like this, something with thousands of parts, that kind of thing, they go make a vehicle, but then they make a certain number of parts. I don't know if it's 5%, 10%, whatever it would be. I'm sure it varied around in the past, per manufacturer. And they would make those parts, and they would go and, probably sell them to the dealership. And the dealership would put them on a shelf ready when customers would need them, whether the vehicle was in an accident, whether it was a warranty repair. The dealers could stock parts. Now, dealership shelves are essentially like this wall, I think. Blank, empty, devoid of parts. Everything is a special order. And completion times are probably a few days to unknown, number of months. And you all have actually told me that. So you tell me if that sounds about right or not, because I think some bean counters in there go, and say, well, we can go and we can make a certain profit margin, right? Selling so many vehicles. If for some reason sales, decline for some reason, people are buying fewer vehicles, or for whatever reason, maybe they're buying more vehicles, we can increase the profit margin by simply not having so many parts sit on a shelf. So you tell me what you think. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.